Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening.
Good morning.
Hey, Linda.
Mm.
Okay, so I see some people are still joining. Let's just give 1 minute and then we can start. Meanwhile, let me share my screen and can you please guys confirm if my screen is visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Thanks you. So meanwhile, people are joining. Let's just not waste this time and let's get started. So, hello everyone. My name is Mohit, and I'll be your instructor for the rest of the days to get you expert on LWC. It's a Lightning Web Component. Before I should start, can I just get a brief, intro about what this audience is about? How many years of experience do you guys have? What do you do? Just a random. Anyone wants to start? It will be quick. We won't wait.
I'll
We won't
start.
waste much time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start. I do have familiarity with HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript. I just took the development course. I've been taking that for a minute. So I'm familiar
Mhm.
with some of this stuff. So I'm looking forward to this training. So I'm kind of familiar with what's going on. So it should be pretty good. Thanks a lot.
Okay, great. Sounds
Mhm.
good. Anyone else? Let's get this thing
Um,
quick.
I'm not familiar that much with LWC at all,
Mm-hmm.
actually, but I just went through, Deepika's course for her development training one. I went through that, and so I'm just learning development. I'm new at it. I've never done it before, so that's
Okay. So,
an
but you
experience.
know Apex and coding, how it works, right?
Through the class that I just took through Deepika, she
Okay, okay, great,
that she
great,
gave us.
great. Yep, great. Next.
Are we introducing ourselves?
No, no, just I just want to know how much experience do you have at Salesforce? What do you know about it? And that's so that I'm aware of the audience and I should keep my pace accordingly.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been involved with Salesforce for the last, I don't know, 7 years now. And I have my platform developer one cert that I got a while back, but I never ever did development. But I did go through Deepika's course and have always been interested in reading code and looking at LWCs, but never really did any programming with them.
Okay. But now I think after going through Deepika's course, now you are good with Apex and coding, right?
Yep. I mean, I'm not
Great.
an expert for sure, but
No, no, no. I'm not. That's no one is here. So when that is something that I'm not looking for. But yeah, so that's fine. You'll be good. Next.
Hey, this is Ram. So I have close to 5, 6 years of experience, right? Working on Salesforce, not predominantly on development, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I have a development background way back. Yeah, this is just out of interest since I'm involved in Salesforce project. So I've started attending Deepika's course and trying to learn
Okay.
different modules.
That's very good. Yeah, good
Yeah.
choice. Thanks. Next. Just one more,
Uh,
two
hi,
more minutes. I'll be giving it on it. So yeah.
morning.
Yep.
I'm Ram. So I have 3 years of experience in Salesforce ecosystem, and I've done multiple certifications. But I'm a production support engineer, like worked as in
Okay.
past project, but not completely into the development life cycle. Like I was really excited about how to build scratch from Lightning components.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the complete
Okay,
debugging,
okay.
but I was having confused about how to build like the connected callback and all these life cycle. The proper structure I
Okay.
was expecting something from your side.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Great.
Yeah,
Your
thank you.
voice was coming pretty low. Could you please check that? That's fine. Okay, next. Are we done with everyone? Okay, cool. Let's get started. So, hello everyone. My name is Mohit, and as I mentioned, that I'll be your instructor. So, I'll just start with my very brief introduction, and then we can. So, I have around 11 years of experience in Salesforce completely, and I've been working with multiple industries on multiple projects across multiple Salesforce areas. So I have pretty good experience handling real life projects and challenges. So, but still, I always look for something new to learn as well, because as I mentioned, there is no one is perfect, and no one can learn the entire Salesforce product. So even 25 years of experience, architects are always keen to look something that they have not learned so far. So it's always a learning journey that keeps on growing, and we should be on it. So that's it. Okay. So LWC, it's Lightning Web Component. So this is a module 1, and what all topics that we'll be covering in this module are mentioned here. So we'll be going on with the brief in with the introduction of the what is Lightning Web Component, why it was introduced, and what are the benefits of it, how we can create Lightning Web Component, and what is the architecture behind it, why it is so much popular in today's world. And at the end of this course, I'll be sharing two questions, homework for you to get it done by tomorrow. Just try your best to get it done. If not done, just come up with some problems to me, that Mohit, I didn't understood this thing. Can you please explain it this? This was my doubt. I got stuck here. So just come up with some questions, and then we'll go through it. Our next topic would be the what will be the prerequisite for configuring the LWCs. I'll be showing you how that can be done, and what is the anatomy of LWC, what is the difference between LWC and Aura, and the last is the architecture. And later on, this will be concluding this today's session with homework. Okay, so what is Lightning Web Component? Basically, it's a new programming model that was of dev, developed by Salesforce for giving developer a new platform to develop business use cases with good performance quickly, and that is scalable, and also that is compliant with the latest web standards, so that tomorrow they should not get stuck with developing the something new business use case, like it happened with Aura. Salesforce introduced the Aura component first, and that was a Salesforce native framework, which was not supporting the latest web standards like ECMA 6 and beyond that. So due to which it was having an issues in developing scalability, maintenance, performance. It was slow. So that's where Salesforce came up with the advanced version, and they wanted to get it open for they don't want to keep it closed. They want to open the doors for all the developers across the world, so that their component can be used widely and on any technology out there. So that's where they come up with this Lightning Web Component. And Lightning Web Component can also coexist with Aura. So but there are so why Salesforce did that? Because when Salesforce introduced Aura component, all the business owners or industries who are using Salesforce, they started developing their business functionalities using Aura. Now, after coming to Lightning Web Component, Salesforce cannot say to their buyers or their customers that, hey, stop using Aura, we don't support, and that is not going to work. So that's why they build up that functionality, or they gave up this feature to their customers that you can use Aura inside LWC as well. But vice versa is not true. So that's where this comes into the picture. Lightning Web Component are the custom elements, built using HTML and the JavaScript standards. Those are based on ECMA 6. So ECMA 6 is a JavaScript standard, like it's a community that keeps on working on the JavaScript functionality, methods, variables, and that keeps this JavaScript language as standards across the world so that developers can use it, build the client facing applications, and keep the business owners happy and keep their business keep on growing. So this is about Lightning Web Component, and it's the Salesforce implementation of the new breed of lightweight framework. It's a very lightweight framework as compared to the Aura, because it uses the Java web standards that doesn't consume much of the bandwidth of the client. So that's why it's very light, its speed is very high, and it uses custom elements, templates, shadow DOM decorators, modules, and other new language constructs that are available in ECMAScript 6 and beyond. So just don't get confused with these terms and jargons. So we'll be taking up each of them in our coming modules. So Lightning Web Component basically provides a layer of specialized Salesforce service on top of the core stack, including. So what it means, basically, Lightning Web Component is built on Salesforce and on Salesforce. So basically, Lightning Web Component is directly connects with the Salesforce DB. Whenever you are creating a component, it and you want to make a communication with the database, like if you want to insert any data, so that will connect to the Salesforce database. So to insert the data or to get the data from the account or opportunity or a lead or any other object. So the Lightning data service, that also a part of Lightning Web Component, it provides a declarative access. You don't need to make a server call. When I say server call, it means that you don't need to write an Apex. I believe all the audience knows Apex and the coding because everyone has a experience about it. So in that case, Salesforce came up with an idea that what if we provide the developers to a feature that so that they don't need to make a server call, and their performance will also increase. So that's where they come up with Lightning data service. With this, you just have to import their libraries and use the component, and that is done. You can either create a record, you can get the record data, you can you can update the record. All those things can be done without writing a Apex method. But there are certain limitations on it. It is only applicable to certain objects as mentioned in the Salesforce documentation. Also, if your business use case is completely customized, your business say, hey, I want to build a entire portal where where the data that will be displayed is coming from different sources, and I want to make amendments to the data, and then the data should get stored in Salesforce. So in that case, Lightning data service doesn't comes into the picture. It will not, get compatible with that use case, because it comes up with some standard features that doesn't compatible with those business custom use cases. So in that case, you have to go with the custom HTML table. So for that, I'll also be explaining you that how to create a custom HTML table. So you should, and that's one suggestion I would be giving to the entire audience over here, although it's pretty early, but you should always keep in mind that whenever writing a LWC component for any business use case, you should always look for a futuristic approach. You should always ask to your business analyst or to your manager or to the client with whom you are working, that how, like, what do you see, what do you think about this product or this feature in future? If you are anticipating that this feature might come up with some more enhancements or more changes in coming months or years, then you should always go with some concrete implementation rather than just going with the standard or standard Salesforce features, because you might be able to achieve those features using Lightning Data Service, but in coming years or in coming months, when the requirements comes in with some new enhancements, at that time, that will pull you in a situation that you have to do the entire rework. So if you are stuck to that organization at that time, you will be in a place of questionable. But if you leave, then other developer has to face that situation. So it's just a suggestion, and it's the suggestion comes because I have faced those things. So always keep that thing in mind whenever writing a LWC component. It's very, very important. The user interface API, the underlying service that makes Lightning Web Component and the Lightning Data Service metadata aware, leading to the substantial productivity gains. So that is the most important part, that the APIs and the services that are used in Lightning Web Component, it due to those only, it makes the productivity better and also leads to a greater performance. Any doubts till now if about Lightning Web Components, why it was in, like, anyone has any doubts about it?
Yeah, I have one doubt about the last point, the user
Mm-hmm.
interface API. What does it
Mm-hmm.
mean?
So it means that you created a component. Okay, let me explain you with an example. You are working for a client, Google. Google asks you to, and you are working on their sales feature. Now their sales team wants you to create a table on account detail page. Okay, and that table should, or yeah, that table should display the data based on certain criterias that they have told you, and the data should come from multiple objects, like from contact, from opportunity, and so you want to display those things. Also, the business might tell you that we have an integration with other system, and we are getting data from those system as well. So you need to get the data from there as well and show it on the component on account detail page. So in that case, the user interface API, but so it's the UI. So the UI which you will be using on the LWC component to, so that the end users can easily navigate to the records that you'll be displaying, and they can use it in their business processes. So that's what I mean here. In user interface API is UI, the what kind of UI you will be using, and the API. So when I say API, it's we are using the libraries of the LWC Lightning Web Components, which Salesforce has already provided. We have to import those libraries and we have to extend it. So those are the things that I meant over here.
Okay.
Hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Anyone else? Okay, I take the silence as no. So this is how, this is just a small portray of how it looks. So this is a Lightning Web Component, and it's built on these three pillars: security, data service, and base Lightning Web Component. And these are the web standards. Web component template is for the HTML, in which your entire, you will be creating a table or divisions or structure that will be creating it. Custom element, shadow DOM is a document object model. So whenever you display anything on web, okay, Then that, suppose you are displaying laptop, or if you're, or I would say you're displaying a record of 10 employees in a tabular form on the UI. So how web portray or intercept those details? What web does is it first creates a DOM structure. It puts in that table inside that structure, and then the structure gets loaded, and after that the CSS and the HTML tags that you have written over there gets intercepted by the client, the browser, and that's how the table got displayed. Modules, ECMAScript, events, standard elements, and any. So you don't have to worry about and know all of these things. These are just for your knowledge. You can explore these things at your own pace, because these things are, I'll be guiding you of these things when, as soon as we proceed in the course. Because, but if you want to deep dive in all these things, then you have to take a look at it at your own pace, because those are not part of LWC, and those will never be asked in in interviews as well. If you deep dive, it's just they want to know about on the upper high level. Okay, so these are the prerequisite and the developer tools for configuring Lightning Web Component. Before proceeding, I think I want to ask one question to the audience over here, that do you guys have installed VS Code in your system?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay, so and it's working, like we don't need to configure this, right? So that we can save some of our time over here.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So can this is how the LWC anatomy looks like. First of all, the HTML that is responsible for displaying the data in a to the to the users. JavaScript that is responsible for performing the logic, and the metadata that is being taken care, that is responsible for the Salesforce to process it, so that Salesforce understand, okay, fine, this is the LWC component. And in the back end of the Salesforce technology, Salesforce backend technology that runs on Java, that can process this component easily. So these are the three pillars of LWC, and this is how it gets created in a VS Code. So we'll be going through it. We'll be creating a sample LWC component as well. So, but just now, as of now, I just wanted to give you a brief heads up about how it looks like. This is a template that is very important. It's a syntax, the temp, and this is a opening tag. This is a closing tag. Inside this template, you write your HTML code, whether you want to sorry, you want to display a table, you write a table tag. You want to display, you want to add a div, then you add a div. So accordingly, we place the code over there. Next comes is the JavaScript. This is how the JavaScript page, this JavaScript component JavaScript gets created. These three pillars automatically gets created when you create a new LWC component. Import lightning element from LWC. This first statement, what it means or what it signifies. It signifies that we are importing the Lightning element library from LWC. And this is very important to proceed with your to proceed with the code. If you skip this statement, it won't accept it. It will give you a compiler. And that's if once you imported this library, then your compiler start understanding whatever the logic you will write. Also, it will start understanding the line number 3, where you have written export default class name extends lightning element. Now, what is the meaning of this extends lightning element? Here we are importing this lightning element is an abstract class, and we are extending this class to this class. We are extending its features so that we can use it in our own class and proceed with our component. These are the opening and closing curly braces. So This is inside these curly braces, we write our JavaScript code. If we want to import an Apex, then we write a similar statement over here, import Apex method from Salesforce Apex and the Apex. That I'll show you. That's just a syntax. Don't worry about the syntax. My main focus is to get you expertise on writing a JavaScript code and writing this component. Syntax thing, you can get it from the Salesforce documentation anytime. There's no need to memorize the syntax. Once you start building up the components, you'll automatically learn it. This is a metadata file that gets automatically created when you create a Lightning Web component. It has multiple uh, features, or I would say multiple parameters has to be added. First is the API version that gets automatically added as soon as you create a LWC. This API version says what version you are using in your VS Code, and also the Salesforce releases also. So we get quarterly release in Salesforce, uh, and based on that, this number also gets increases. Third thing is the second thing is the exposed. This is exposed means whether you want to expose this whether you want to display this component to the whether you want to display this component on the Salesforce page also or not. If you make it false, and if you go to account detail page editor, and you try to drag and drop this component, it won't show you. So to make it visible over there, we have to make this flag as true. This is very important. So if going forward, if you're working on any project, or if you're building something, and you develop the component, or someone asks you, hey, my LWC, I'm not able to add the LWC component on this page, could you please tell me the reason? So first thing, you have to go to this metadata of that component and see whether this exposed flag is true or false. Yes, someone was saying something. Hello. Okay, fine. So any doubts on this anatomy? No. Hope you guys are understanding me. See, we have to make this session two-way so that we can understand each other and make our understanding better. So yeah.
For the metadata, you want to explain that just
Mhm.
one more time for the metadata? I didn't quite understand what we're loading
So
there.
sure. So metadata is a file that is being, I would, in a layman terms, if I say in a layman terms, then it is a file that is used by the Salesforce in the back end to process your Lightning Web component.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the developer point of view. In the initial stages, it is mainly used by the Salesforce backend technology. And the parameters that I have shown over here, API version and is exposed, these are the major parameters that has to be used in the metadata file, and these are automatically populated. It's just you have to make this is exposed flag as true, so that you can drag and drop the component on the page header or page detail page. API version, sometimes the API version gets depreciated. Suppose you are working for an organization who is using Salesforce since 2000, when Salesforce was just started, and they have gone through all their releases. So their API version, if you see, check on there, so you'll find the API version would be 30, 40. So you have to increase that API version, because if you don't do that, most of the features won't be compatible. You'll face a lot of issues in your component. So it has to be updated to the latest version, and it gets automatically created. So you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
So,
Great.
Mohit, there is, you could just keep an eye once in a while on the chat as well.
Oh,
Ravi is from Australia and he probably cannot talk. It's too late over there. So he posts messages in the chat. So just take a look at his as well whenever you get
yeah,
time.
sure, Deepa. Thanks for making me aware. I have 3 years of experience. Different times I speak my is quite late. Oh, it's okay. Yeah. Dome.js.
I think he's little ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ravi, you don't like DOM.js concepts like callbacks. That I think it's too early to comment on these topics. We'll be covering those in our later stages, and these callbacks and promises we'll be covering up in when we start our JavaScript module. So it's pretty early to answer those. Yeah, it's a DOM, document object modeling. Okay, so we'll proceed. Okay, till now, uh, I just want to recap whatever we have done, a brief intro of LWC and an anatomy of LWC. So, anyone has any questions about it, or we are good?
Good.
Okay, great. Thanks. So now I'll be covering up the major pillar of LWC, this which is a JavaScript. And before starting this, I just wanted to know from the audience. You guys can paste it on the chat as well. How many of you are good with JavaScript, and how many of you are just don't know anything about JavaScript? How many of you are
I don't know anything about it. No.
okay? One. Anyone else? Two.
I also don't have
Okay.
any idea.
Okay, Gayatri, no worries. Shalini also doesn't have. I mean, okay, fine, no worries. We'll proceed accordingly. So, in that case, I'll be starting with a very basic thing. JavaScript is a website, is a web, basically, it's a dynamic language and it's very weakly typed. When I say weakly typed, I mean that you can directly declare the variables var const. There is nothing much that you have to worry about. Also, it is very dynamic, isn't interpreted, and it's client-side language, which runs at compile time. So, which runs at runtime, sorry, compiles at runtime, sorry. So, and also it runs on a browser at client side. You don't need to make a server call. You don't need to access any of the database to get the data. If you want to display some text on a page, on a web page, you can directly use the JavaScript, write XYZ, declare a variable ABC, put alert, or if you want to show an alert, or if you want to display some text, just directly type that text. It will display it over there. So that is the beauty of this JavaScript. It runs on a client side. It makes it very fast. Performance is very fast, scalable, secure, and most of all, it gives the end user a very good user experience. It doesn't need any host environment like it like we require in case of other technologies like Java or PHP or any other technology. So that is the beauty of this JavaScript. It was created to make web pages more dynamic. If you're changing any content on a web pages directly or from inside the browser. But originally it was called as LiveScript, but due to the popularity of Java, it was renamed as JavaScript. It has nothing to do with Java, just making sure that you guys don't get confused with it. And it's totally independent from Java, but it does uses some of the Java concepts like objects, variables, functions, and arrays, maps, the data structure that we use over there. It does uses. We do have arrays, maps over here, and we have functions over here, variables, constants, all those things. So we'll be covering up on those. This these things are all hands-on. I'll be, I'll request one of you guys to share your screen if you are comfortable, and I'll guide you to write a logic. If that's my approach. You guys can raise a concern if anyone has an issue. If but the why I'm saying that, because if I write a code on my screen and share your screen, it won't make you more active, and you guys will keep on staring at it and copying. But if I ask someone, that person or you guys will be attentive and try on your own as well, and that will make you more attentive, and it will be helpful for you guys. So just let me know what you guys, how do you guys want me to proceed on that. Okay, now how does our web pages work? Basically, why I'm explaining you this thing, web pages work, because it is very important for you to understand how will our LWC component will work from the, from the ground line. It is very important for you to learn, for you to know, because so this is a end user who will be using your LWC component, whatever you have built, and this is a client, your Chrome, Edge, Firefox, anything, and this is a server. So when, suppose I am the user and someone from the team has created LWC component which accepts the data from the user, and when I click on submit button, the data gets saved in Salesforce and creates a account record. So I'm a user, I enter my name, phone number, address, and I clicked on submit. What it does, it first interact with the client. Then client will make a call to the server. Now in our case, we are submitting the data. So to submit the data, there are two ways. Either we can use LDS, Lightning Data Service, that will avoid server call. When I say avoid server call, it means that you are not explicitly making a server call. Salesforce is already running their operations in the backend. You are not additionally adding a load on their servers, on their processes to make a server call. Let Salesforce handle that. Let me give you an example. Suppose I want to go to my office, okay, and every day at 9 a.m. and at the same time there is a shuttle that goes right outside my house to the same location where is my office. Now there are two ways. Either I should take my own vehicle and go to the office, or I should use that bus shuttle. So if I use the shuttle, and also the use case is I don't want to go anywhere else. I just want to go from my home to the office. That's it. There's no other area track I have to follow. So in that case, if I use the shuttle, that will save my cost, my fuel, and my energy. I can parallelly work as well in the shuttle. So that's how it works. If you know your business use case, which won't change in future and which is pretty straightforward, so there's no need to make a external explicit server call. So that will save your resources, your call outs, your Apex resources that will be saved in that case, and the processing, or I would say the response from the LWC component will be increased, because there is no server call, there is no explicit processing happening, and UI experience will be very, very good. So that's user clicked on submit button, it interacted with the browser. So when I say interacted, user actually interacted with the client. How? By entering the phone number, entering the name, and clicking on that button which is present on the web page. That's where you are interacting with the browser. And when you click on that button, it's sending the request to the server. In our case, it's Salesforce. And we are sending the request that, hey, please save this name, phone number, address, and so details to the Salesforce account page, account data. So it's send the request, Salesforce DB accept the request and sends in the response that the data gets served successfully. So that's how it works. Anyone has any doubt? Anything to share?
I have a
Yep.
doubt. You mentioned about
Yes.
the Lightning data services, right? We use that, then
Sorry.
we don't have to make Lightning data service.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Where does it come in this picture? Because you mentioned that we are not going to make explicit call to the server if we use Lightning data service. So,
So in this case, it doesn't comes up because, so yeah, it is coming up because Lightning Data Service, Salesforce is already making that call in the backend. See, when Salesforce is running their operations in the back end, their all processes are running in which are based out of Java. So when you are save when you have used LDS component in your LWC, okay, and you are saving a record, account record, you so how it will work? It will make use of Salesforce services that are already running, and on it will add up that process into it. So Salesforce is not adding an extra load on it. You are not adding extra load on the Salesforce processes. It will automatically go with it. And that's where you'll save the resources. You'll save the process bandwidth and it will boost the performance. In this case, which I am showing on my slide, here also in the back end, Salesforce is running because in order to save the data, you have to make some calls to the server, right? So in that case, Salesforce is already doing that job for you. So that's why Salesforce says in the documentation that there is no sales server call happen if you want to make they you won't you do you don't have to make a apex call when you use LDS. You
So
don't have to write an extra method in apex.
I have a quick question here, Mohit.
Yes,
So in the
please.
case of LDS, do you recommend using LDS wherever we can, or
Yes.
so wherever there is
Yes.
an opportunity, we should first go with LDS because you will save on the data call, the server call.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. You will save on server calls, and that is very, very important. And as I also mentioned, that you should always ask those two questions to your business analyst, your client, or with whom you are working. That what is the futuristic scope of this functionality? How do you see this functionality in coming months or in years? If they say we might, this is a growing feature, we'll be getting a lot of load on this feature and we'll be enhancing this in coming months, then you should take a call accordingly. Then you should think twice of using LDS, because you might fall into a situation where the table or the where the functionality that you have built using LDS might not support might not support the requirement which is coming on your way in months or in years.
So in what
Because
situations LDS won't work?
LDS won't work when you want to display a data in a tabular form that accepts user interaction, that accepts amendments on the data on a you created a table of columns 6 by 6, okay, just and you want to display the data over there, and also you want users to make edits and on row by row, okay, and after editing those data you want to display the next row based on what user has edited. So on the suppose on row 1, user has changed the product name from product A to product B, and so based on product change, the next row number 2 should get displayed. And when row number 2 gets displayed, it should display some more fields or some more columns accordingly. So in that case, LDS won't work, because LDS is straightforward, saving your server call when you have a simple use case, saving the record, editing the record of opportunity account, and there are many object lists. And also the one more use case, when you create a very custom object, totally custom object or a managed package that runs on your based on your own requirements. In that case also, LDS will cause some complications.
Okay, so for simple things you can use LDS.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. And for that, you have to ask those two questions. And if they say yes, there is no such thing happening in future, go ahead with earliest. That will be quick and easy. Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So here we are, the comparison. You might be wondering why it is not came earlier, but yeah, here it is now. So Aura and LWC. Anyone in the audience here who wants to say anything based on their knowledge so far, anything they have heard from surroundings or from the documentation or they have come so far, why, what is the biggest difference between the LWC and Aura? Why LWC is better than Aura? Anything anyone wants to try?
Mohit, sorry, can you just zoom it little? It's not clear. But it's with me only. I don't know.
Is it better now?
Yeah, better, better.
Okay, fine. So basically, LWC is built directly on web stack using the Java Web ECMA standards, whereas Aura is a Salesforce native framework that are also using HTML and JavaScript. But the framework is Salesforce, and in LWC, it's not limited to Salesforce. That's the biggest thing. The compatibility, Aura cannot be used inside LWC, but LWC can be included in Aura because there are many legacy applications out there which are developed in Aura when Aura was introduced. So nowadays, everything is built on LWC, and if you want to use those features, then that's why Salesforce gave these things so that you can utilize your business use cases and it doesn't impact your business. Performance, Lightning components or a component take longer to build and deliver because of this anatomy that is used in Aura. There are many pillars out there, but in LWC, it's much faster. Platform dependencies, yes, Aura is a Salesforce platform dependent, whereas LWC, it is supported by every browser. And much knowledge of Salesforce is not required. That is true. You need JavaScript, Apex knowledge, little bit of HTML. CSS is something that, yes, that comes add on. So that is the reason. Whereas Aura, it's totally built on Salesforce. So you would need to know their in and outs. And the developer console, yes, you would need developer console to create Aura components. You cannot create that in VS Code or any other to IDE, whereas LWC can be created in IDE. Also, there is an extension nowadays, Lighting Studio. You can use that as well to create LWC. Data binding. So in Aura, the data binding is always two-way, like from parent to child and child to parent. They both can communicate both the ways. That cause that due to that only the performance and complexity got increases. But in LWC, parent to child is there, whereas child, if you want to navigate from child to parent, if a child wants to talk to parent, the child cannot talk directly. Child has to send out an event. We'll be covering that in a later stage, but as this topic came in, so I just wanted to tell you so that you don't get confused that why in Aura it's two-way, why in LWC it's one way. No, LWC also there is a two-way, but not directly. When parent communicate to child in LWC, they can send a direct message because parent can directly give an instruction to child like it happens in our usual life. But when child wants to send out a message, they have to follow certain channels. They have to send out an event to the parent. And if parent accept that message, then only it can be displayed over there. Like it mentioned over here, see, communication. So in Aura, we use application events to communicate between components in different DOM hierarchies. When I say DOM hierarchies, it means that I'm sitting in India, Rajasthan, someone in at my place, I mean, someone in Rajasthan, some other district, Ajmer, and we want to communicate. We both are in different districts, so we want to communicate. then application events has to be used in case of Aura. Whereas in LWC, we'll be using LMS, Lightning Message Services. But if my colleague also lives in Jaipur and we both are in same cities, then we can use either channel, either events, or I can directly call him. So in that case, we don't need this Lightning messaging service. This is only used when both the components are in different hierarchy, different DOM structure. So that is the thing. Modern JavaScript development, where so ES5 syntax and 6 promises are supported by Aura programming, whereas in LWC also supports this thing, because in Aura and LWC both uses JavaScript. So that is not a bigger differences, but yeah. So this is
Mohit, there is a question from Ravi in the chat
okay.
related to, yeah.
Aura was proprietary, so it was purely used in Salesforce. LWC is generic and not only used in Salesforce. Can you please explain why Aura cannot be contained in LWC? So Ravi, basically that's how they have built it, because their frameworks are not compatible. That is the main thing, that Aura cannot be used inside an Lightning. Why Aura cannot be used contained? Why Aura cannot be used? Or I think you're saying why Aura cannot be used in LWC, right? From LWC, we can call Aura. From LWC, you can call Aura, but from Aura, you cannot call LWC. So that's how they have built their framework, and uh, so that's what Salesforce says. There's nothing mentioned as in the documentations as well, but that's how they have built the framework. It's conventional, so we have to go with that. Okay. And Amruta has also raised a question: LDS CRUD operation on single object. Yes, Amruta, you're right. LDS CRUD operation is on a single object. You cannot combine multiple objects over there, and that is again another use case which someone has asked, that what are the use cases where LDS won't work. So yes, if your operations or functionalities is consuming multiple objects, then LDS won't work. So yeah, that is right. Thanks, Amrita, and thanks, Ravi. Okay. Left. Yeah. So now we'll be covering up the architecture, how LWC is architected. What are the main things that forms Lightning Web Component? Okay. So LWC architecture is based on mainly three layers. One is the browser framework. Second one is the framework, which is called as an engine, which drives LWC. And the third thing is the Salesforce platform, which is responsible for the data and services. So we'll go one by one and see how LWC architecture is developed. This is very important, guys, because this is a must ask question in interviews as well. Because if you will portray yourself as an LWC expert, then they'll definitely ask you, fine, how Lightning Web Component is architecture. So that's how you have to explain. First of all, we'll go with the browser layer, which is also called a web standards. So this is a foundation of LWC. And the technologies that are used over here are HTML, JavaScript, which is using ES6 plus standards, CSS, and the web components that are standards that are using is custom elements, shadow DOM, and templates. So if you remember, in an anatomy of LWC, I showed you the HTML file which has opening and closing tags of templates. So this is what the template means. So inside that template, your entire HTML structure comes in. Now, why this component standards matters? Because they natively run on the browser, and it is a very less framework, and the performance is very high, and also so easy to develop. So that is the main thing, that LWC uses the browser's native DOM instead of the virtual DOM or instead of their own proprietary DOM. So that's where it's very generic and it can be built on any web. Next comes is the LWC framework layer, which is also called as the core engine of the Lightning Web Component that connects web standards with the Salesforce. So what is the major responsibilities? The one thing is the life cycle of this component. Everything in this universe has a life cycle, starting from a human being to a machines. Similarly, LWC also has a life cycle. LWC, the life cycle begins with the uh, component loading, adding to the web, and connecting, then disconnecting it from the hook. So that's how the LWC framework life cycle runs. We'll be covering up this in a detail in coming modules. Reactive rendering means if any of your parameter is changing. Suppose you are working on you have developed a component which accepts the data from a user, and from one component you're navigating to another component, and while navigating it the data is getting changed because due to the user inputs. That is reactive rendering. Event handling, if you have multiple components in your business use case, 5-10 components are there and they are interconnecting with each other, so you have to build those component in a hierarchy: parent, child 1, child 2, child 3, and up to child n. And in that case you want to send out a message from the bottom child component to the parent one. You will be using event. Template binding, how you will be binding those templates, the HTML templates. Integration with Salesforce features, how you will be using the Salesforce features, the Salesforce objects, and whenever, and adding the component on a object layer and all those things. And this layer is lightweight, that's why we call it very lightweight and easy to use and performance, high performance. That's due to this framework. The engine or framework that they have developed is very lightweight and it doesn't consume much bandwidth, due to which it is much better. The last layer that comes is the Salesforce platform, which consumes Salesforce data and the services provided by the Salesforce. And here it includes the Apex, where we write a code in our Apex language. We connect, we interact with the Salesforce objects to get the data, to update, insert, upsert, delete, all those things. Lightning Data Service also comes into the picture. UI API. This sorry. UI API is provided by Salesforce, so that in case if you want to update something to account record or an opportunity record, then you can directly use this API. You can import this UI API and make your operation accordingly. You can find this entire syntax of UI API in Salesforce documentation. So you just have to copy that import statement and then use a var method and proceed. Security, Salesforce security layer, that Salesforce automatically handles the security so that you don't so that your JavaScript code doesn't interfere with untrusted client, and it doesn't get hacked by some third party cookies or servers. Metadata and deployment. The metadata, when I say, it's that metadata file that gets created in LWC component, and the deployment, when you deploy your component from one org to another org and to the last to the production. So this all comprises the Salesforce platform layer. Now comes the data flow. How data flows when you are using Apex. So LWC, from LWC you call Apex. Apex makes a call to Salesforce database where all your data gets stored. And if you want to manipulate any data for with any object, account, opportunity, lead, or if you are using any custom object, then Salesforce DB sends out a response to the Apex, and then Apex send out a response to the LWC, which displays that, or which send out a message to the end user that your data gets saved successfully, or there is an error submitting the data, like that. But if you're not using an Apex call, in that case, Lightning Data Service does that entire job, and you don't have you save a space on writing code, and Lightning Data Service takes that job for you and does it. Any questions so far on architecture? Is it all clear or all clear, guys?
Yeah, so for the data flow that you had below there, where it says Lightning Web Component, Apex, Salesforce Database, the one that uses Apex, that's going to be something scalable later on. If for you said for businesses that if they need to expand later on, that would be
Yes.
the way to go. But the other one, if you go with the Lightning Data Service, that's the one to go for just simple requests or simple platforms that are not going to really be changed or expanded
Yes.
later on. Am I correct?
Yes. Because
Okay.
that is right. Also, sometimes you might not get a favorable answer. But why I said that, because so that you can avoid reworking on this thing. You implemented Lightning Data Service initially after asking those questions, and everything was in your favor, and you implemented LDS. And later on, you came up with a requirement that doesn't support LDS. You have to build a custom HTML. You have to you have to rewrite the entire code. So that's where the scalability doesn't support with LDS. You have to rewrite the entire logic in HTML and in JavaScript as well, all along with CSS. With LDS, you don't have to worry about CSS. You don't have to worry about HTML and little bit of JavaScript. JavaScript is required in LDS as well because you have to use on-change methods and you have to perform logic on user actions. So that's how things works. It's there is nothing concrete, but it's always recommended from Salesforce that go with LDS if it answers your question. If no, then customization is always there, guys. So you can build anything, any way, how user wants to look, wants to feel the UI. You can build any kind of UI in LWC. That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
Great.
So Mohit, I have one question about security, the point you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned. So
Mm-hmm.
security, you are talking about Salesforce security or
Field level security, sharing
yeah,
rules, org-wide security,
okay.
uh, Lightning Locker service also comes into the picture, which
Hmm.
Salesforce introduced components so that components work isolatedly. They doesn't interfere with each other, and also untrusted JavaScript scripts doesn't interfere with your code. So that's all security things Salesforce handles at their own level.
No,
And
no,
yes, field
security.
level.
Sorry.
Mhm.
So field level security, record
Yes,
level
that comes in.
security, that
Yes,
belongs
that
to the core Salesforce platform, isn't it? So
yes,
core
yes, yes,
Salesforce, server
yes.
side. When you
Right,
say
right, right.
security with respect to LWC, how
Hmm.
how does it reflect for the LWC is what my question is. Specific to
So,
LWC.
okay, specific to LWC, it comes as a Lightning Locker, Lightning
Okay.
Web Component Security Services. So Lightning Locker, when I say, you don't have to write any piece of a logic to make it secure. It's happening in the backend by Salesforce, and that's what Salesforce has already inbuilt that feature in LWC. So, but it is must to know how. you have a very good question. How the security is being handled in LWC? It's because of Lightning Locker service, and that is making sure that your components are secure and doesn't interfere with untrusted JavaScript codes or web layers. And also one more thing, this security, the Salesforce security also plays a role in LWC. If your FLA, if any of your field is restricted, you won't be able to access that in LWC as well. You when you are
No,
making a
that is
Apex
okay.
call.
But that is with respect to Salesforce core platform, right? So whoever is
Hmm.
using a platform, that security
Hmm.
always will be there. But with
Hmm.
respect to LWC, how LWC is coming into picture for security is what my question is. That you just mentioned the Lightning Locker services, that is okay.
Yes, yes.
But is there
Hmm.
anything which is adding extra security layer on the web standards as a part of
That is
LD?
all. So, and extra standards, those are all browser securities that are already there, which are provided by the browser, but nothing extra apart from the Lightning Locker and Lightning Web securities, which Salesforce already provide. Nothing extra that gets added on this layer.
Okay.
These are Lightning Locker service is the major one that's handled. Also, there is one more thing. Which is related to that, where any cookie cannot which wait, just it slipped from my mind. Click jack protection is also there, so that
Mm,
can be, but that is a configurable from Salesforce side. From Salesforce settings, you go to security, and from there you
mm,
can enable that feature, which is a click jack protection. So
okay.
that hackers, what hackers does is they releases some kind of icons or links on the sites, and if a user clicks on that, your code get exposed to the hacker, and hacker can interfere with that code and make it corrupt. That's how clickjack protection works. So that also works, adds up to the JavaScript.
Okay. Also, in one of our project, we faced the challenge where
Mm-hmm.
at org level, right, on the org level, we have the Lightning Web Security. Uh, there is a one
Mm-hmm.
configuration at I
Mm-hmm.
think session level. So if that
Mm-hmm.
is enabled, most of the that LWC works in more secure way. So if you can give a insight, not in this session but in near future, would
Mm-hmm.
be good.
Mm-hmm. So you said that Lightning Web Security was playing a pivotal role in your Lightning Web component
Yeah, that
security,
there is a
and
one
that was,
yeah,
there was a one configuration made in your org, in your
yeah.
project,
So it is
right?
by default it will be ticked, checked, Lightning
Mm-hmm.
Web Security. But if that is enabled, then some of the CSV functionality, if we are working on the browser side, that will not work as expected because of the
Correct, correct,
security.
correct, correct. So if, as I mentioned, if you go to homepage of Salesforce, like
Mm.
if I can show you here, and security. So here you see session settings, trusted
I think
URL.
session.
Yeah. So here you'll get all those things: session timeout, the session settings, log, which if you want to log any of the IP addresses. And when you talk about this LWC,
Yeah,
so
Lightning
yeah,
below will be some.
this one enables content delivery network for Lightning component framework. Okay, this clickjack protection, that is for VF pages, and
Yeah, Lightning Web Security, the single one
yeah,
is. Yeah.
right. This is for, so to protect your components and auto components. That's right. So now you're saying that when you enable this thing in your project, some of the iframes were not working, the HTML frames were not working, right?
Yeah.
That
So
happens. That
how we
happens
how
because
we
it gets interfere with that. So in order to decide on this checkbox, usually in my experience so far, we have never checked this checkbox. Also, it depends what kind of a HTML code that you have written. So your point is true, your observation is true that some of the iframes won't work. It happens with me as well on one of our experience cloud site which we developed, and the users for that experience cloud site were very limited. So that's why we have to disable this thing, because the iframes were not loading. And in that case, the first approach is to look for alternatives. Try to use alternative tags in HTML and see if it works. Try to reach out to Salesforce support if they can help you out with those HTML tags that can be rectified. But if nothing works out, then you have to disable this checkbox. There's no other approach. So that's how you have to, fix those issues. These are the two ways. You have to explore the JavaScript library. Go to Google, search for JavaScript and HTML libraries, and see if you can use some other tags or iframes in your code, and see if it works, because those things keeps on evolving. Those things are daily, we are getting new add-ons on that, and we have to make sure that our code is compatible. So this is about it. And but if nothing works out, last option is to create a case with Salesforce and see if they can help you out. But and if nothing works, then we have to think about it.
Okay, actually, I thought the security, when you're talking about this configuration as well. That's why I asked you the question.
Okay. Yep. So these configurations, as you mentioned, sometimes conflict with your code, and that's why I missed it. So but yep, thanks for pointing it out. So thanks. So this configuration also plays that role in LWC. You're right. And for nothing, not only for LW Lightning Web Security, but if you have an existing VF pages, then for that clickjack protection, it also plays a pivotal role. And yeah, so that's a good one, Amrita.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other use case if you have come across? Any other thing if you want to discuss? I take the silence as no. Okay, let's move further. So here comes your security in LWC architecture, Amrita, which you were talking about.
Mhm.
So as we already discussed that, web security, strong DOM isolation, so that no component can interfere with other component, and they can work in isolation, and it keeps the data intact and user experience is good. Prevent cross component access, so that no other hierarchy component can also shouldn't access the component, and you know uh, disrupt the services. Secure third party JavaScript usage, so that there are a lot of third party JavaScript out there on the web. We even not know there are very harmful JavaScript scripts are also there. So it protects our component from those malware theft, and it's already built into the framework, so we don't have to worry about it by adding a piece of code in our component or not. No. So Salesforce has already done it, and also as we already showed you, that configuration that has to be checked when uh, releasing the component into a portal or onto a area which is exposed to high number of users. Okay, so this is the last topic. Before going to that, can we quickly create this component by sharing any of one of your screen so that we can quickly complete this if you guys are okay with it, or should I start by own?
Yeah, I'll share the screen as well.
Start.
Great, great. And I would request all of you to start doing it parallelly by opening up your VS Code and follow the steps we will be doing it over here.
I think it's not
And we'll be following each and every one, so don't worry, we'll not make a rush. So be vocal and let me know if anyone is falling behind. Okay. Yeah. Please think Ram, you're
yeah,
sharing
it's
your
not
screen?
yeah, I think it's not allowing me to share the screen. You can't share your screen, someone is sharing.
Let me stop my sharing. Now can you try?
So you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can see. Does anyone all of us can see his screen? Okay, great. So okay guys. So we'll be starting with our first LWC component creation. Okay. Kudos to that. Okay, so what you have to do, Ram, is if you see left hand, this is a project. I hope everyone is on the same page. Everyone has set up their VS Code and created a project with manifest, and you guys can see all those structure on left hand side of the screen under Force app section. Aura, classes, flexi page, flows, layouts, all those things. Please give the thumbs up. If anyone has any issues, please point it out or please call out.
So
Great. If anyone is having any issues, please call out, else I'll go with the thumbs up. So Ram, please click on LWC, left hand side. Yeah, right click on that. Click on create web lightning web component. SFDX, scroll below, second option. SFDX colon create lightning web component. Yeah. Click on it. Enter the name. Uh, Demo. Let's give us module one LWC. Enter. So click on, yeah, see, if in the left hand side, we got all these three files got created, HTML, JS, and this is a test file which gets automatically created. Previously, if you remember, we have a test class in Apex. Similarly, Salesforce has launched test classes for LWC as well. But I would say as of now, we are not into, I mean, it's tricky to write a test class for LWC. It's very tricky. We are not currently Salesforce has not launched that restrictive thing in LWC like we have it in Apex, 75% coverage for Apex. So in that case, you can ignore that now for timing. So yeah, this is not important as of now. You can still deploy your LWC without that. But Apex coverage is still needed. Yeah. So see, let's start with the HTML file. Ram, click on that. Yeah, this is the HTML file got created. Next one is the JS file with that statement of import lightning and the export statement. The third one is the metadata file, which has a API version and is exposed. Let's change this is exposed flag to true. And save it, Control S, and deploy. Guys, while making a change in LWC, you have to keep on saving your changes and deploy it so that it gets saved and deployed to the Salesforce, and you do not lose track of it. Okay. And when you click on deploy this source to org, you deploy all three files simultaneously. So this happens. Okay. So So there are a couple of things that you have to keep. Yeah, you can use this as well, Ram, or you can click on the file and right click on the file. When you click on specific HTML, whether you click on a specific HTML or JS, it will automatically deploy the entire bundle, Lightning component bundle. Okay, so you have to work accordingly. The first thing that you have to keep in mind while working on this component is, uh, if you are working on an existing component, make sure you take a latest code by retrieving, by right click on that file, retrieve this source from the org. And then, because if you forget that, and if you make your changes, saved and deployed, your old changes will be gone. So, and you might run into a trouble with your teammates, because sometimes, most of the time, what happens, multiple developer work on a single component, and you have to respect each other's changes. So always make sure to take the latest changes before starting. Okay, so this is how we created our Lightning Web component. Are we on the same page, everyone? Or anyone is falling behind? Anyone is facing any issue? Great. Now let's add this component to a account detail page. It's a simple task. Ram, just open the Salesforce, and everyone open your Salesforce. I hope everyone has connected their Salesforce or demo org, developer org. No, you don't need to go to the app launcher. That's fine. Okay, fine. If you click on accounts, just change the list view to all, and just open any of the all accounts. Just open any of the account. Yeah, open this one. Click on gear icon on top right corner, edit page. Please guys, call it out if you're falling behind or didn't get anything. Okay, go to details tab. Yeah, in the left hand side, search for your component. Type your name, type the name of the yeah, here. Did you change the exposed flag to true?
Yes. Maybe I haven't refreshed.
Did
Is this the right org, Ram?
Yeah.
Yes,
Is this the
yes.
same org for that you have connected? Can you go back to the VS Code?
We need to add the targets.
Yeah. Just add the targets to the detail record page. Lightning community page, Lightning record page, Lightning community. You can skip Lightning record page. You can add it. Yeah.
Is the syntax correct? Is it under targets? Yeah, there should be a target under target, right?
It should be under target, not targets. Ram, let me paste it over the chat. Oh, Amruta, you haven't set up VS Code on your personal. Okay, fine. I've sent you over the chat. Just copy it over there.
Yeah.
And it comes under targets. Under targets, it will there will be a target. Yes. So just paste this target and inside the target. I sent you over the chat. Just copy it from there. These three things. Yeah, deploy, save it and deploy. You haven't saved it, Ram. You have to first save it. Yeah, now deploy it. Yeah, now refresh. Go back. Yeah, fine. Yeah, reload. Yeah, now you got it. Just drag and drop it over there. Currently, this component will be blank because we haven't added any HTML tags, any data over there. So this is how I'm just showing you how to create a component and add it on a page. Yes, activate it for all the users. Assign as org default. Desktop, that's fine. Save. Okay, activate, save. Yeah, it's done. Activation is done. So once you get a message over there, activation done, that's fine. You can click on back icon. Yeah, back button, and you can verify your changes on the page. Scroll down.
It's
No.
empty.
Click on gear icon again. Edit page. Guys, I feel we are on the same page. Anyone else facing any issue by adding the component to the page? Yeah, click on details once.
I added
It's
it,
not
but
a.
I think because it's
Mhm.
empty, it's nothing showing.
Yeah, it could be. So what we'll do now, we'll go to our LWC component and we'll add simple text message in HTML. Let's go back to our component. But you guys know the process, right? I'm able to explain you the process how we can add the component over there. Just write this statement, Ram. I'm sending you over the chat. This here P refers to the paragraph. It's a simple HTML tag that we are using, and there is no rocket science over there. So yeah, you can refresh that account page directly and see if it displays this. In case of Lightning, guys, you need to hard refresh your record pages to display the latest changes because it involves a lot of caching issues. And in order to hard refresh it, what you have to do is you have to press three keys, Control Shift R. And if you are using Mac, you have to use Command Shift R. If you see here, you will see this thing, text over there. So that's coming up on your component. Now, as we didn't added any border or any, boundaries, that's why it's showing like this. Now, there's one more thing you might encounter when you start developing multiple LWC component and you start deploying it. Suppose you created a component, you added to the page, it's deployed, and you're seeing that component. After that, you made any changes to your component, okay, and then you deployed it. And after that, when you try to came up on the UI and you see that the changes are not there, you have to do two things. First, hard reload of the tab. Second, if that also doesn't work, second thing what you have to do is, I mean, in 99% cases it will work, but in 1% cases it doesn't work. You have to close the tab and reload, reopen the tab. Okay. And if that also doesn't work, then what you have to do is you have to click on right click on that page. Ram, can you please do it? Right click on the page. No, no, not here, not here. On the yeah, click on inspect, and you can use shortkeys F12 in your Windows, and in Mac it's Command plus F12, Fn plus F12. Okay, and click on console. Console, yeah. So here, whatever your you will see here, if your component is loaded, and if you have added any of your debug statement in a JavaScript or anything. So this is a piece of this is the area where we debug LWC component through console tab. Okay, and one more thing. While we are here, I'll just cover up one more thing. Click on this icon, Ram, left hand extreme left on the console row. First one, yeah. Click on this and hover your cursor on the this is my first component. Yeah, click. Yeah, see, it has automatically navigated to the component. And now from scroll it little bit up on where the line above the highlighted green highlight line, you'll see some statement over there. C hyphen module 1 hyphen L hyphen W hyphen C. This is how you identify any of the component on a page. Okay. So if you are working on any project and you got a task that you need to fix a production issue on any of the component, you're getting some issue on this account page, and there is a component out there, and your teammate you just got this task, and the person who gave you the task is not from a technical team, he's from the business side. They say, hey, Ram, I'm getting this error. So now you don't know what's the component name, how you'll figure it out. This is how you'll figure it out. Okay. So you don't have to wait for anyone to tell you the component name. Forget about that era. That era is gone. No one will tell you, hey, Ram, this is the component, go to this, and this is the piece line of code which is breaking, just fix it. No. Just have this expectation that no one will tell you these steps. If you're getting these steps, you're lucky. So you have to prepare yourself to find out each and everything on your own, and that I'll show you. So with this steps, you can find out the component on any page. If the But yes, you need to know that you need to know that area where the error is coming. You should ask those things, where the error is coming, on click of which button. Suppose they say click on they added a custom button on this page, and they say after clicking on that button it's filling. So once you click on that button, open this inspect and click on console tab, and you will see what is happening. And when you navigate back to the click on elements tab, you'll see all those components that has been loaded. Okay, so from here you can find out which component is breaking and which is, and like this you can find out what is the component present. So this is a smart way of debugging Lightning Web Component without begging for the teammates or the members that could you please tell me the component name? I didn't get to know the name. How can I proceed with debugging? No excuses. These are all excuses. So don't go with that. Okay. I just got one question. Please me what I'll need to install on the machine. Yes. So Amrita, first of all, if you do not have VS Code, did you install Salesforce DX?
No, my
Do
on my
what all
personal
things you have on your machine as part of
on personal
Salesforce?
laptop, I don't have anything. I need to install everything.
Okay. Okay, so I'll share one documentation link with you. Okay, so
Yeah.
you need to have Java first of all,
Hmm.
JDK. That is the first thing. JDK 6, install JDK 6, or do not install the latest version of JDK. It will cause an issue. JDK 6 or JDK 8, that will be very good. That is the first thing. Set up the path of JDK in the
Hmm.
environment variables. Third thing, after installing the VS Code, uh, you also have to install the Salesforce CLI, not DX, sorry.
Hmm.
Salesforce CLI. You have to install the Salesforce CLI from Salesforce documentation page.
Hmm.
Okay. And once you have installed the Salesforce CLI, JDK, set up the environment path variables, then after installing the VS Code, you have to install the extensions.
Hmm.
Let me share my screen again, Ram. Sorry, I'll just take back the screen. I'll just. Uh, can you please, yeah, let me share my screen and show you. Yeah. Once the VS Code is installed, go to this extension tab over here, and you have to install these extensions. First of all, the major ones: Salesforce extension pack,
Hmm.
extension pack expanded, CLI integration. Okay. And yes, these are mandatory ones. Rest of the stuff you can install as per your need. So
Okay.
these are the major ones. Okay. After that, once this is installed, what you have to do is you have to sfdx colon, you have to type this statement over here, and you have to click on create project with manifest standard, type the
Yeah,
project name.
that I'll create. I just wanted to
Okay.
know the setup part that
Hmm,
I'll
hmm, hmm,
start.
hmm, hmm, hmm. Yeah. So the setup part is clear, right? You have to
Yes.
install all those things. JDK is very, very important. If you install the wrong version or something wrong, then it will fail in deployment in
Hmm.
VS Code. Okay. And yeah, these are the main ones. And also, do not, there's one more thing I would like to tell you guys. If you guys receive an update in VS Code, uh, okay, do not update it to the latest version. It will break your ongoing deployments, ongoing critical work. Suppose if you are working on a very critical project, timelines are very tight, and you're working on it, and somehow you updated your VS Code by clicking over here. Okay, or if you updated your extensions, these one, to the latest version, you will suddenly fall into a situation of several errors in deployments most of the time. If you're not having, that's fine, you're lucky. But during that time, do not update your VS Code or in CA, these extensions. Never to the latest version. Always keep your versions minimum 3 months before. You'll get to know these versions over here. Install another version. So when you click on it, you will see here. See, mine one is a year ago version. Okay. So you should always go for the older versions, because older versions are pretty stable, and those won't hamper your productivity. So yeah, this is about it. And
Mohit,
yes, Amrita.
this is Shweta, and I
Oh,
have a
sorry,
quick.
sorry, sorry, Shweta.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. I got an error when I have added the component to the page. As like I don't have insufficient permissions.
Can you please
So
share your screen and show me?
yeah, sure. So I'm getting like this error.
Okay, go back to your VS Code first.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, yeah, I can see, I can see.
VS Code.
Go to your VS Code, show me your component.
Okay. Okay.
Lightning. Shweta, first of all, whenever you write a code, make sure that you indent the lines. Those are also noticed. Okay. Just keep these things in your habit. That will help you guys in your
Okay.
when you join any organization or when you work on a live projects. Yeah. Okay. That is yeah. Save, deploy, expose true, target, app pages, record pages. Those are all correct. And and you save it,
Maybe
deploy.
you need to accept some enable some setting in the Salesforce, like to accept import from VS Code.
Sorry,
Now,
Ram.
maybe she needs to accept. Maybe she needs to enable some setting in the Salesforce setup, like some code is coming from VS Code.
No, 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 no. We don't have that setting. No, no, that those step setting doesn't exist. It's only about these is exposed is true. It's already there. Can you save and deploy again and go
Okay.
back to the page, Salesforce page? Go back to Salesforce page. Yeah, let's deploy it.
Yeah.
Reload this. Delete this component. Yeah, delete this. Hmm. Drag and drop this one again.
I
Okay,
got it.
save it. Yeah, save it and activate it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
No worries.
I think I did not save properly.
No, no, you have to go to the related one.
Related.
Yeah,
Yeah, you add it over there.
yeah.
Did you activated that?
Yeah, I did.
No, you have to wait for a few seconds until you get that message.
Okay.
And put it under the detail just to be on the safe
Yeah.
side.
Yes.
Put it under details. You put it on the.
I put on details.
No, it's
No.
above the details.
Yeah, it's yeah. Save it. Activation. Click on activation. Yeah. So sign as org default. Yeah. Save. Save. Activation change. Settings change. Okay, that's fine. Click on back button. Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Anyone else who is having any issue? So I assume all of the teammates are able to create a first LWC component and add it to the page, and we know how to deploy that and get it visible. So we are good. Great. I got some first thumbs up. Okay. So any doubt in so far, whatever I have explained so far, anything which you didn't understood, anything you think that is causing confusion, or I'm not able to clearly explain it, or I'm missing something, or I'm telling you something wrong. Anything. Be frank. So, mm, okay, I take the silence as optimistic. Okay, so guys, I'll share the assignments. Okay, for today. Yep. So this is the one which we have already completed, but I would see something extra on this, how you can uh, write it in a better way. Okay. And this is a second thing. This, I think it can be pretty tricky. Sorry. But I want you guys to give a try. Don't worry. I'll not judge you on this, but I just want to give you a try. How much you can think of it, how much you can prepare steps to proceed on it based on today's knowledge and the session, whatever I've conveyed. And apart from this, also you would need your self study and going through the Salesforce documentation. So it's my recommendation to give a kickstart on these two questions and see how you can achieve it. The purpose of these two things is to make you sincere and make you accountable and make you curious, and also to make push you to explore more things in LWC. And not only in LWC, but in it makes you a habit of doing things on your own, so that tomorrow you're not dependent on anyone, that I need to wait for my teammate to come and tell me how should I do it. That's my ultimate goal, to make you independent of handling any challenges, no matter how you do it. But see, it's better to give a shot, give a kick to it, and come up with some findings, come up with uh, something that that can showcase your ability to achieve something. You can come up with some steps like, hey Mohit, I did this, I tried to write this code, could you please check and let me know what did I do wrong, anything. So that's where it will help you guys. Okay, anyways, I'll be showing you the exact thing how to do it, but let's see how much you can give you. So this one is clear. Second one. Okay, second one, let me give you explanation on that. So it here I have given opportunity data. Okay, so you have to add a component on opportunity now. Today we added on account detail page. On opportunity detail page we have to add it, and the proposed is stage. Let me just quickly check the stage once again so that I'm not wrong. I'll show you where you want to add it. Okay. Meanwhile, let me just paste these two things in the chat. Okay, you can put this on this detail page only, or on this section also you can put it over here, that's fine. Okay, and the stage you can consider is, this is my personal other org. Okay, so in your org it could be something else. So we can Ram, can you please share your screen? Let's go with that. Open any of the opportunity. Yeah, click on all, open any of the random opportunity, go to details. Okay. So click on stage, edit, click on stage below. Yeah. So let's take, scroll it up in a qualification. Let's scroll it up, not prospect. Yeah, qualification. So I'll correct so here the stage
So the
is
component should only show when the stage is qualification. Is that what you're saying?
correct.
Okay.
Correct, Deepika. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a conditional component. Okay. It's called as conditional. So whenever the opportunity stage is qualification, I'll explain you the real business use case in the later stage. This is very starting point. Okay. And so whenever the opportunity stage is qualification, this component should show these fields: stage, amount, and currency. Okay. And see how it gets displayed. So this is a way where we can give a brainstorming on these things. Okay. And there are one couple of things that you have to keep in mind. You have to make sure that you have a data in your Salesforce org for this stage. You have couple of opportunities whose stage is qualification, or if it doesn't, then you have to change your opportunity stage to qualification, and put the any random values in amount, currency, that doesn't matter. So data is something that you can easily get it, so don't worry about that. What I'm expecting is how you take this challenge, how you proceed with it, what's your approach. So don't worry about whether it's working or no. I'm not worried about that. Just give a try and see how you're able to do it. Just come up with your plan. Okay. Any doubts on this? Okay. Because the reason why I have given you second question is because the audience knows coding. Okay. So I just wanted to test. So let's see how it goes. Any questions, any doubts, anything you want to discuss? We are approaching the closure
You said
for
we
today.
know coding, correct? But with this right here, with the if statement, okay, I got it. We can just use Apex. All right, no problem.
Huh, just give it a try. Just give it a try.
Yeah,
I'm not,
yeah.
so do not worry. Just be free. Just
Okay,
be free and just play with it.
okay,
It's
cool,
more
cool.
important to play
Okay,
rather than just completing the task. No.
okay, cool.
Yeah, just be free. Okay, so if there's no questions, I would just suggest to go through the Salesforce documentation for LWC. There you will get a deeper dive of the stuff, the syntaxes, go through the syntax and see how things are developed. So just spend some more time on your own, okay, to know things about it. And yep, come up with some questions. I'll be happy to handle those. So I'll just wait for a minute to see if anyone comes up with any questions, else we can wrap up.
Are there people still using Aura component? Just because LWC is in place now, so are there any reasons why Aura components needs to be used?
So you're saying that if you still want to use Aura instead of LWC?
Yeah, what would be the scenario that there is requirement to use Aura anymore?
In today's world, no, there is no such requirement.
Okay.
And that is not even in today's world, in today, if you go to any organization in the world, they will never say you to develop this thing using Aura, not even with
Okay.
VF page, not even with VF page,
Yeah, yeah.
because that comes up with because they don't want to go back. They want to
Right.
build something for futuristic, for future.
Mhm.
So that's why there is no such use case that can only be work with Aura. No, so that is not going to happen. And there could be the use case where you are already using Aura and your management or your team ask you to convert it into LWC or use that Aura inside LWC. That could happen.
So it's
It,
not completely deprecated, but it's still
no, 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 no. It's not deprecated by Salesforce. No, please, please, audience, please do
okay.
not consider that Aura is deprecated. No, no, no. A big no. You will never find it because if you understood that and if you go to documentation, you'll see, hey, what Moise was telling that now it's so there's nowhere mentioned and it can never be deprecated because most of the organization have their bigger functionality running on Aura because it was developed during that time when Aura was there.
Mm.
So it can never be deprecated. It is still used, and that's why they have built the framework LWC that can coexist with Aura. That's why. That's the biggest reason. So it will be there, and you might get a chance to work on Aura as well and to use Aura in LWC. But don't worry about that. Once you learn LWC, you can easily work on Aura. So that is all about it.
Yeah, Mohit, one question. So, since the whole, I mean, all the existing org, right, has Aura code, and then they all wanted to migrate, right? Is there
Mhm.
any better way or kind of any tools, right, that helps in kind of migrating the code from Aura to LWC? Say AI, right? How does that help?
There are there are apps on App Exchange that can help you do that, but those are paid. But if your organization says no, we don't have that much budget and you have to do it on your own. So the best way is to understand and best way is to use if you want to go with AI, that's fine. If your organization allows that, you can use AI, you can paste the entire Aura component in AI, and AI can draft and give you the drafted version of LWC. And after that, you have to tweak it. You have to modify it as because it will not give you the ready-made version. You have to
Yeah,
rectify it. But if that also doesn't work, then the best way is to understand the Aura, rewrite the entire logic in LWC.
LWC. Okay.
Yeah, because the structure is same. Aura also has HTML, JavaScript code. The syntax is different, entirely different. Okay, so you have to write the logic accordingly. But yeah, that will be very tedious task. So, but in current world where we have AI, so you'll get a lot of help from there.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
Tomorrow, can you show us how we can view the components in VS Code without having to go to the org and see?
Uh, in VS Code. So just now we created a component in VS Code, right, Nancy?
Uh-huh.
So under that LWC header, if you click on that, and you'll see all the LWC component created in that org. That's how we do.
Uh-huh. But like, I mean, isn't there a way you can actually see the component in the runtime without having to go to the org to see?
Yeah. Yes. 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 So it's not like I think you are expecting that how many components are there in my org, right? Is that what your ask is?
No, like if like the one that we just did, this demo one,
Mm-hmm.
isn't there a way that we can view it, the component itself, see what
No,
it
no.
looks like?
Like, I think she's talking about the UI.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, okay. No, Nancy. So for the UI thing, you need to have some direction. So suppose your org has 10 LWC component and those are visible in VS Code. Okay. Now you want to know where my X ABCV component lies. Okay. So that thing, what you can do is, okay, I'll show you. I'll show you. But for that, we need to have that LWC. I'll show you guys then. Yes, there are some ways that we can find out, but it's not concrete.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not concrete from the VS Code where that component lies. So it could be anywhere. But I can help. I can show you some ways through which you can reach to some point and see. Okay. If it's on a quick action, I can show you that you can find it out. But if it's on a page, then it becomes very tricky to find out blindly.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
what I'm referring to is like if I wanted to see a visual of the LWC that I just created in VS Code, I thought I saw somewhere, read somewhere that there's a function within VS Code that you can actually bring up the component.
If I think that you are referring to Copilot AI that is embedded in VS Code. If you have that thing, that extension, then that can help you.
Okay.
So I have not used that AI feature in VS Code. I don't use that. And also, guys, do not enable AI as of now. It's very early stage for you to learn. You can enable it once you know the LWC properly. Then you can enable AI in your VS Code.
Okay.
But in this stage, what AI does is it will write the code for you. If you enter any statement in JavaScript or in HTML, it will give you the code. So it's very early stage for that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mohit. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for
Thank you,
participating.
Deepika. Thank you, guys. I think we are over time. Yeah. So yeah.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.